Prehistoric times. Listening practice. Total beginner level.
A long time ago, there were no cities, cars, or schools. This time is called prehistoric times. People lived in caves or small homes made from wood and stones. They were hunters and gatherers. Hunters used spears and clubs to catch animals. Gatherers found plants, berries, and nuts to eat. They also made fire to cook food and stay warm. Big animals lived in this time too, like mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Some animals, like dinosaurs, lived even earlier. People in prehistoric times loved to draw. They made cave paintings of animals, people, and hunts. These pictures tell us about their life. The Earth looked different. There were big forests, volcanoes, and lots of ice during cold times. People worked together in tribes to survive. Today, we can find bones and fossils from this time. They help us learn about the past. Life in prehistoric times was simple, but it was very hard.
In prehistoric times, people lived in small groups called clans. They were hunter-gatherers, meaning they hunted animals and collected plants for food. Their ancestors passed down skills to help them survive. People made shelters from wood, stones, and animal skins to protect themselves. Some lived near rivers, forests, or even on the savanna. During colder times, large glaciers covered parts of the earth, and the climate was harsh. Prehistoric people hunted large megafauna, such as mammoths, using tools and weapons like spears and axes. They had to be careful of predators like saber-toothed cats, which hunted prey for food. Some animals were herbivores, eating plants, while others were dangerous hunters. The people made artifacts, such as tools, pots, and ornaments from bones or shells. They also created carvings and rituals to connect with nature or their beliefs. When volcanoes had eruptions, they used fire for safety and warmth. Today, we find fossils and old tools that tell us how these people lived. Their lives were simple but full of challenges.
Prehistoric times were long before modern civilizations began. People lived in small communities and were often nomadic, moving from place to find food. They lived during periods like the Ice Age, when much of the earth was covered in ice and snow. Humans relied on the domestication of animals, such as dogs and sheep, to make their lives easier. They hunted wild animals and gathered plants, but as their skills improved, they developed a hierarchy within their groups, with leaders and specific roles for different people. The natural landscape was wild and dangerous, full of large predators and prey. Some animals were carnivores, like saber-toothed tigers, while others were scavengers, eating what predators left behind. Many species eventually faced extinction as climates changed or humans hunted them. Tools and technology slowly improved during the Stone Age. People created pottery from clay and made more advanced tools from stone and bone. These innovations helped them build stronger shelters, hunt better, and store food. Archaeologists today find artifacts and study them to learn about how prehistoric people lived. Migration was common, as people traveled to new areas in search of better ecosystems to survive. Through the process of evolution, humans adapted to their environment over thousands of years. Prehistoric times were a time of survival, creativity, and change, shaping the way humans live today.
In prehistoric times, people lived in a world very different from today. They started in the Stone Age, using simple tools made of stone and bone. During this time, humans were nomadic, moving from place to hunt animals and gather food. The early humans lived in caves or built temporary shelters, adapting to the landscape around them. They used fire for warmth and cooking, and their tools became more advanced over time. As the Ice Age came to an end, people began to develop new ways of living. This led to the Mesolithic, Middle Stone Age, where humans started to domesticate animals like dogs, goats, and sheep. This was a key change, as humans began to form more permanent communities. They started farming, growing crops, and raising animals for food, which led to the rise of early villages. The Neolithic, New Stone Age, brought even more changes. People learned how to farm in larger areas, building more permanent homes and creating tools from polished stone. The invention of pottery allowed them to store food, and the development of innovations like weaving helped make clothing. These advancements marked the shift from nomadic life to a settled lifestyle, and early villages began to grow into small towns. As time passed, humans entered the Bronze Age, where the discovery of bronze, a mixture of copper and tin, led to stronger tools and weapons. This was a time of trade, where people exchanged goods, and early forms of hierarchy began to appear in societies. People began to create more complex civilizations, with leaders, farmers, builders, and traders working together. The Iron Age followed, where tools and weapons made of iron replaced those made of bronze. This period saw the rise of cities and kingdoms, as people developed better farming methods, and society became more organized. Writing systems were created, and early forms of government began to take shape. Each age brought new discoveries and advancements that helped shape the world we live in today. The journey from the Stone Age to the Iron Age was one of survival, innovation, and the growth of human societies, paving the way for the great civilizations of the ancient world.